Hey, what's up? Adam here, back with another video. And today we're using a new format of video. So we've got a lot of stuff planned for the channel, and we're going to be rolling out a bunch of new content. So stay tuned for a lot more. But today we're going to be talking about how to onboard employees with Kahana, which is a knowledge-based software, very versatile platform. We love it. We built it. And so Jonathan is here joining me. And Jonathan, if you would like to introduce yourself to some of the new folks so they can get a sense of who the heck you are before the video.
Yeah, hey, I'm Jonathan Gans, CEO and co-founder of Kahana with Adam here. You might have seen me in a couple videos, but I don't think you've heard too much about me. So before starting Kahana, I actually worked on Deloitte's Corporate Strategy team, where I discovered firsthand how critical it is to have organized, accessible knowledge systems. We often would settle for just kind of having stuff in SharePoint folders, and honestly, that was a huge pet peeve of mine. It really just did not cut it, was very inefficient, took a lot of time to find information that I needed. And so over the years, I have become passionate about creating practical tools and ways of organizing information that are super easy and accessible. What we're sharing today isn't just theory, it's exactly what we do to onboard folks who work with us and how we run our company. So really excited to get into it.
Cool. Yeah, let's dive right in.
But yeah, so this is an example of a type of onboarding hub that you can create within Kahana. The huge benefit to kind of going back to that, the frustration of getting an email where you have a bunch of forms and links and PDFs and just documents that you have to manually download yourself, keep track of on your own, and constantly kind of open up new things and have like a bunch of windows and tabs open as you're going through things. That can all be streamlined within Kahana, where you just have a single link that hosts all of those different things. So instead of getting an email with all of these different documents and more, you get an email with a single link, and that link has all of those documents, and you can just bookmark this link and go to it at any point in time. So yeah, this kind of gives you a feel for how powerful the platform can be and how helpful it is to organize everything. So this is just an example of an onboarding hub. You can actually you can embed and fill out forms directly within the hub. So if there's any information, which there very, very often is information a new employee has to fill out, they can just do that directly within the hub. Then, here's a example of an onboarding checklist within a PDF that they can kind of review and check off at any point in time. Then you might have some personalized training, and this is, you can embed PDFs, any Google Drive assets, so that's Word, or that's Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, Google Forms if you need a form. Here's just kind of, these are all kind of dummy files, so there's not actual real content within them. It's just examples. But yeah, as you can see, you can kind of embed all of these types of documents, have them all in one place, easily go back and forth between them without having to open up a new tab, and they're just there for you at any point in time. And yeah, it just makes it super easy to have everything in a single place. And from a employee or employer standpoint, rather, it's a great way to essentially or kind of keep tabs on how your employees are progressing, because you're able to actually see analytics on who has clicked on which documents and for how long and how they're interacting with them, which can then help you have a more proactive check-in, right? Where you don't necessarily just have to have it be kind of a standardized, 2 weeks out, we're going to have a check-in. If someone kind of goes through all of this stuff within a week, you can definitely, you can just reach out and say, hey, like, notice that you went through things super quickly. Like, do you have any questions, or, ready to go? Because some people onboard slower, some people onboard faster. And if they're taking a bit longer, you can kind of check in, and, if they haven't seen something in particular that's important, you can do that too. But yeah, that's kind of the general gist of it. And you can have you can have not just, you can have one kind of core onboarding document or onboarding template perhaps that you have for each department. And then you could, if you would like, so kind of as I've done here, you could essentially copy, you could duplicate the hub and add things for specific for specific employees. So this is the hub that I was showing you. If you wanted, you could duplicate that hub and then make it specific for a specific department or a specific person, and then you can add you can edit the name, you can add new documents, you can remove other documents, but it just makes it very, very simple, where you can just quickly build out this essentially knowledge base of onboarding hubs that you can that you can dole out at any point in time. And then you don't have to spend time putting the same files in the same email over and over again. You can literally just duplicate it, copy paste that link, and send it back out. So that's why I'm really excited about Kahana for onboarding.
Love it. Yeah, and I noticed when I was researching this question, I feel like one of the biggest knowledge-based use cases is a call center or sales, customer support. And I just wanted to add on that this is searchable. So every resource or file that's uploaded into Kahana, you can search for it with the search, and it's just it's pretty simple just to search with text or tags. So you can get really, really sophisticated with how you tag and how you name, so that people can easily summon up any of these things depending on what they're doing. So it can function as an onboarding tool, but also can just expand into being a good pool of knowledge that you can use to fuel different operations. You like that little rhyme there? But no, so yeah, cool. Is there anything else you want to go over that we might have missed on this one?
Trying to think. I mean, I think that's the gist of it. I do think that it's a really good point you bring up, the fact that, it's not, it goes beyond onboarding, where it, I think it starts with onboarding, right? Because when you're bringing on a new employee, especially if you have a knowledge-based or service-based business, right? Any kind of agency or consultancy or essentially any, or, a law firm, any time that you are providing business or providing any type of service based on your and your employees' expertise that you're training them up on, and then they're doing something on behalf of your clients, knowledge is your entire differentiator, right? If you're only as strong as your weakest link, as they say. That's actually a direct quote that we've heard from an agency that ultimately scaled up to 100 million in revenue and ultimately sold to a company. Even their COO was literally kept up at night because he was constantly trying to figure out how to ensure that processes are being documented, to ensure that people are actually learning about and updating those processes on an ongoing basis, and that it's not just something that is documented and then sits in a shelf. And that really starts day one with onboarding. You want to make sure that from the very beginning, your new hires are being onboarded in a very smooth, seamless way. They have access to all of their knowledge, or all of the knowledge needed to kind of get ramped up and start working. But then that doesn't end, right? Things are constantly changing. You have new ways of doing things, and there's continuous learning that needs to take place. And so you need to have a way to easily kind of document and share that knowledge, and then make sure people are actually engaging with the materials. And that's really why hubs are such a great way of doing that, because you can, continue to, you can, you have your onboarding hubs, then you can easily duplicate them and make them kind of, process documentation hubs. You can create hubs completely from scratch and add things in, and you can just update over time. But point being, it's just it is a really great way to just ensure that no knowledge is slipping through the cracks, and that there's always that all of your employees have easy access to specific processes and information, as opposed to, even, for example, having a Google Drive or SharePoint isn't going to cut it either, right? Because they are great for, obviously Google Drive is great for actually creating assets, and as is SharePoint with respect to creating Excel / Google or / Sheets, or PowerPoint / Slides, or Word Docs / Google Docs. But when it comes to actually organizing them, no one wants to just get handed a Google Drive folder where you have to click into a bunch of individual folders, pull up a file, open up a new tab. Like, this would literally, if this were a Google Drive file, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different tabs open, and there are probably going to be way more files that you might need, right? So that's 9 tabs plus whatever else you're working out of, and you have to literally spend time clicking into individual folders to pull up those files. It's just a pain in the butt. Whereas with a Kahana hub, the hierarchy is flipped so that everything is just in a single tab, and all you have to do is one click to pull up any given piece of information or document that you need, and it's just a way more efficient way of accessing that information.
Well put. And I love the point you made about SharePoint in general. I think the audience might be wondering, maybe, what are some of the tools that they're using that could be integrated into this, so they, if there's any others you want to mention, so we can address that before they comment.
Yeah, that's a great point. So we've got Kahana works super well with Google Drive in particular, where you can embed any Google Drive asset and you can edit it directly within the hub. Obviously, only people who have editing permissions can edit it, but point being, if you want to enable people to edit it, you can. If you want to just have them be commenters or viewers, you can do that too. But all you need to do is embed link, put the shareable link within here, or just copy paste the URL, add a title to it, and then it shows up just like this, where you have access to it right there, and you can make those changes. You can go through it. So any Google Drive asset, that's Sheets, Docs, Slides, Forms, etc., and any of those, you can add PDFs, you can add raw MP4 or MP3 files, and you can also embed video. You can also embed videos from other platforms. So you can embed YouTube videos, you can embed Loom videos, and we highly recommend and love Loom. It's a great platform for capturing capturing your screen and creating SOPs, or just creating materials and instructions. We use it all the time, and so you can embed that by doing the exact same thing with a YouTube video. You just add the link here. With the Loom, it would be the same thing. You just click embed link. Then you can add any screenshots, images. You can also embed Scribe links. So Scribe is a great platform for creating quick and easy SOPs for kind of simpler tasks, where it's kind of just where if it's something as easy as, going through and showing how you're doing something on your screen, Scribe can actually Scribe will record your screen and then automatically create a step-by-step guide that you can edit. And so that's a great thing that you can use. You can plop those links into hubs as well. Then what else can you add to a hub? I think that might.
That's a pretty good ad. That's pretty good, man. That's a very good overview. We'll be here all day. The point is that you can embed lots of different things into it, and if it doesn't work, perhaps the existing platform restricts that, but we're definitely interested in expanding the types of tools that can be uploaded and the types of resources that can be added in. And sometimes all it takes is a quick integration. So if you want that, just let us know if there's some tool that isn't working for you when you try it out, and we can get in touch with the platform and see if they're open to it, because it just helps it. Yeah, I mean, see if they want to. But I had
please.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, sorry. I was just to say, please comment on the video and let us know if there are specific tools that your team or that you use that you'd be interested in embedding in or working within Kahana with, and we can tell you. We can either let you know whether it's possible, or we can work on it. But either way, it would be very helpful to know so that we can continue to add different tools to the repertoire.
Yeah. And then I had a question or something that maybe to touch on for folks. If you're just getting started with building out a knowledge base and you haven't really done much yet in terms of organizing it or planning out the structure, like, Jonathan, do you have any kind of tips or recommendations about how to think about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think the first thing that you should do is essentially make a list of, just kind of take some time and make a list of your most commonly performed tasks or processes on a given, in any given week, right? Like, what are the most common and what are the most important things that employees need to be able to do? Going back to the point around, especially if you're a knowledge-based business providing any type of a service for clients, what's just a back-breaking mistake that you want to avoid? If you're doing something for a client, what are the critical tasks or projects that you do? Focus, start there, and then so kind of make a list of those, and then kind of do a quick assessment of, do we have any existing documentation on this? Yes or no. It could be, that's any type of asset, whether that's kind of some doc that's just in the archives or depths of Google Drive somewhere embedded in a bunch of folders, whether that's, an interview that you've performed, video or kind of interview you've recorded or performed with someone, whether, it's even just notes that you've literally written down at your desk. Any just kind of getting a lay of the land of what documentation exists. If there is documentation that exists, great, start to wrangle it up. And that's why Kahana is a great platform for that. Whereas, there are a lot of other tools that kind of force you to live in a single place. The purpose of Kahana is to really wrangle all of these different components and pieces of documentation from disparate tools together in a single location, because we know that there are good tools that are good for different things, right? Like Google Drive, obviously, docs, sheets, slides, phenomenal for actually creating those assets, not so great for kind of bringing them up to the front and organizing them. That's why you can throw them in Kahana. Loom videos, awesome for screen sharing and making instructional videos. Scribes, great for making those kind of quick and easy SOPs. PDFs, obviously, great as readable assets. Point being, there are different types of documentation for different purposes, and it is good. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. And we want to make it as easy as possible for you to wrangle all of that stuff in. But yeah, I think step one, really think through and make a list of those most important processes or things that you're doing. Step two, basically take an assessment of, what documentation exists, if any. If there isn't any documentation, or first, if there is documentation, kind of wrangle all of that stuff together. If not, you can start to then think about, okay, how are we going to create that documentation? Are we going to build it from scratch ourselves? Do we want to outsource it and have, another company maybe come in and help us create those assets? But whatever the case may be, that's kind of how I would start.
And we really appreciate your time, and we love y'all. So we'll wrap up this video and adjourn for now. There'll be a lot more good stuff to come. So if you're not already subscribed and you thought this was good, go ahead, smash that subscribe button, toss us a like, comment if you have any questions. And yeah, any lasting thoughts, Jonathan?
Yeah, absolutely. So just wanted to say a last reminder that effective onboarding is all about making the right information accessible at the right time. And that doesn't mean bombarding them with an email that has a bunch of different links and PDFs that they need to save. Just make all of your lives a lot easier. Put all of that stuff in a single link in a single place, whether that's a Kahana hub or something else. But yeah, you can just easily get started. If you have any questions or need any help setting up your knowledge base for onboarding, please feel free to, like Adam said, either comment or feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn profile will be in the description, so feel free to give me a holler.